Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Well, good afternoon, should I say. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We have the activities of our minds. We ain't in nobody's jail. Okay. I'm trying to tell you. I am trying to tell you. Okay. Listen, if you are tuning in, you are listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, sometimes looking backwards can be just as frustrating as looking forward. And I am extremely grateful. Yes. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And we are going public. And here we go. There we go. Hey, hey, hey. It's your girl, Zsa Zsa. Hey, 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 guys. It's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are listening to Yeah, I Said It. Y'all already know. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know y'all heard me the first time. Listen, if you are tuning in, you are listening to Yeah, I Said It. And we're talking all about don't look back, stay the course. Hey, Montel, how are you doing? What's going on? Styles by T. Tuning in. It's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are listening to Yeah, I Said It. Y'all already know. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. But today I'm talking about don't look back, stay the course. Don't look back, stay the course. And if you're tuning in, make sure you share this video. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. We are talking all about don't look back, stay the course. Now, y'all already know I go to Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church of God in Christ, Bishop J. Drew Sheard. And, I am extremely grateful to have that type of leadership in my life. When you have people that are willing to invest in your future and where you're trying to go in life, it is always important to have people in your life, who have experienced certain life challenges, who have wisdom, who have knowledge, and are not afraid to share it with you. You have to be careful of people who are older than you that become intimidated by your success, become intimidated by your experiences, become intimidated about your bodaciousness and your courage and your bravery. Unfortunately, everybody that looks like you and me is not always going to be happy about your success, about your change, about your direction, because people become comfortable at a certain level where you are. But let's just say you decide, you want to be on a locally great. But if you decide that you want to be globally great, now you have decided that you are going to have and take on more people as enemies as more than you should. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And we're talking all about don't look back, stay the course. Now, being that I go to, a Bible-based church, Bible-believing church, I talk all the time about I am not religious. I love the Lord. He heard my cry. And me and God is like this. Okay, we like these. We used to be like this, butting heads. Or at least I was butting heads with God because God can't butt heads with me. But there was a time where I felt like my past decisions were hindering me from my future. And listen, I don't care about what nobody got to say. I ain't got a heaven and hell to put nobody in, but we've all made bad decisions. We've all made decisions that we were not pleased with. We've all been in circumstances where we were not our best selves. We've all said some things that we probably wish we wouldn't have said. We've all made choices daily. We all make daily choices. And sometimes our choices are not always the best choices or the most benefiting choices. But every day we wake up, we have choices that we have to make. We have decisions that we have to make. We have to make a choice. And so, growing up, being the oldest of all my brothers and sisters, my mom, she would often, when me and my siblings would butt heads, my mom would often say, okay, well, we're going to take a vote. How many of y'all want chicken? Raise your hand. How many of y'all want pizza? Raise your hand. And as a little kid, you don't realize that you are being groomed to be a part of the political process, right? We are in a season where a very important decision is going to be made within the next week or so. And one of the things that I find very interesting when people say, oh, no, I ain't voting, I ain't being a part of all that politics stuff, all those political stuff, I ain't being a part of none of that. But the truth of the matter is that every single day we are a part of the political process. Every day that we wake up and decide what we want to wear, if we decide we want to obey the law, if we want to go against the law, if we want to pay our taxes, if we want to take our kids to school, if we want to let them stay home, if we want them to do virtual, if we want them to go hybrid, if I want to put unleaded in my car, if I want to put premium, if I want to go to the BP, if I want to go to the Valero, if I want to go let her do my hair, if I want to go let him do my hair, if I want to put this outfit on from this store, if I want to put this outfit on from that store, every single day, we are making decisions that affect the political process. Every day that we live our lives, the political process affects us. So when people say, I'm not voting, or my vote doesn't count, or it doesn't matter, I often tell people, look at your everyday life. And if you don't think that participating in your God-given right, your legal right, you are misfortuned. You are unfortunate. And it's an unfortunate situation when we have individuals who don't feel as if their voice is valued. But I want to tell you, don't look back. Stay the course. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, make sure you follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Zsa Zsa, because you do. Stay the course. Don't look back. As a young woman, I have made some really bad decisions that were not always my best decisions. And as a young mother, one of the major decisions that I had to make growing up at 17 years old was whether or not to have my son. And what I'm getting ready to say may be a little disturbing to some, and it may be some real tea or juice for others. But the night that I won Homecoming Queen, I celebrated a little too much, and I got pregnant. Being a senior in high school, class president, homecoming queen, all of those things, right? And unfortunately, because of my carelessness and my lack of responsibility, I became pregnant. And I had to make a decision. And my decision, of course, my first decision was get an abortion, right? And at the time, it was $250. And I was going right up on Schaefer and Michigan Avenue. And I wasn't of age, but I figured out some stuff. I made some decisions to figure out how I was going to get some things done. And upon us going to that appointment, the other counterpart that helped me create this child did not have his other half of the money. And so we had to make a decision. And so throughout that time frame of me trying to acquire the money to get the abortion, I did a multitude of things, because we're talking about don't look back, stay the course. I'm going somewhere. I had become so boggled down with stress trying to figure out this situation. How was I going to get rid of this child that I have? Because I'm a senior in high school and I'm getting ready to go off to college and do all of these great, magnificent things in my mind, because that's what everybody has prepped me to do. And I went to go get the abortion, and I had my half and he didn't have his half. And so during this time frame, I tried to figure out ways to abort my child. For those of you who don't know, this is one of my speaking topics when I go and I talk to young people about the importance of being sexually educated sexually, the importance of abstinence, and the importance of trying your best to practice safe sex. Because a lot of times the decisions that we make them rash. We make them when our backs are up against the wall. We're making them because we're having a good time. And unfortunately, sometimes our decisions that we make can either catapult us to our future or it could hinder us in some way. But I'm going to tell you this, what the devil meant for evil, God will always work it out for your good. I said all that to say, of course, my son is 17. Clearly, he's here. But there was a decision that needed to be made. And in the midst of all of that, me not getting an abortion and me not having the money that I needed to get the abortion, I tried to drink orange juice and bleach to abort my child. I tried to push myself down the stairs. This is me at 17. Tried to push myself down the stairs so that I could induce myself and give myself a miscarriage. I tried to get my brother, who was obese at the time, to step on my stomach. He refused. That was a choice and a decision that he made. Now, any other time, my brother, big boy, God rest his soul, and I thank him. Any other time he will want to wrestle with me and slam me down and crawl all on me and jump all on me. And this one particular time that I asked him to do something for me, he refused. And then when one of my so-called friends decided to be the whistleblower, and she ended up telling my mom that I was pregnant my senior year in high school, because my mom asked me when I was washing those dishes, was I pregnant? And y'all, that was the hardest and the longest time that I had to suck my stomach in. And I looked at her and I told her with the straightest face, no, I'm not pregnant. Because I just knew I was going to be able to take care of it. So many of us oftentimes have to make certain decisions that we think that we are in control over, because we have to make these hard decisions and these hard choices and these challenging choices that we have to make when our backs are up against the wall, when we have to decide, do I put my money toward this bill, or do I put my money toward me having a good time because I'm stressed out, or whatever the case may be. Every single day, we have to make tough choices, difficult decisions. And I never forget when my so-called friend blew the whistle on me and told my mom that I was pregnant, and my mom called my dad. And I never forget, I was at the McDonald's on Grand River in Schaefer. If y'all true Detroiters, y'all know where that McDonald's is. And I never forget, my dad called me. He said, I'm on my way. My mom and my stepfather were getting ready to drive me to Kentucky because they give abortions all the way up to 6 months. And I was at the 6-month mark when my parents found out that I was getting ready to have little Tayshawn. And I never forget, as long as I live, the day that my dad came to the house and he drove me down Schaefer, because y'all know I'm from Joy Road, exit 9, come up off the freeway. That's my community, District 7. And I never forget my father driving me down Schaefer. And we ended up parking at the McDonald's. And I never forget, he got me a number 11, a fish fillet meal. And he said, what do you want to do? What are you getting ready to do? And I'm sitting in the car, y'all, eating my fries, just crying. Like, I don't know, Daddy. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was trying to take care of it myself. I didn't want to, because a lot of us, the maturity in us, for some of us who have had to raise ourselves or had to grow up in single parent households, we've grown up a lot faster than what we've had to when it comes to other ethnicities who could become kids. A lot of other ethnicities got the opportunities to actually just be a kid. Some of us, unfortunately, had a dual role. We had a take care of our sibling, babysitter role, and then we had a kid role. And a lot of us grew up to taking care of more responsibilities than what we should have been able to take care of as a kid. And so I was sitting there talking to my dad with tears in my eyes. And my dad said, well, are you going to go to college? And I said, yes, Dad, I'm going to college. I got a full ride scholarship to Bowling Green State University, Presidential Leadership Academy, and I'm going to college, Daddy. He said, well, if you're going to college, then have my grandson. And that was a hard choice that I had to make. Because here it is, sometimes we have to make those tough decisions that we never thought or anticipated having to make. I never thought in a million gazillion years that you would tell me that I would have been a teenage mother or a single mother raising my son. You could have never told me that. Would have told you it was a bold-faced lie. When I graduated from high school, I was getting ready to travel the world and turn into Olivia Pope off Scandal. I was about to be out here. But God said, no, we want to change your course. And sometimes God will cause certain situations to happen in your life to halt you so that you don't mess your life up any further, so that you don't continue to make bad decisions. It's like a woman who has a child by this no good individual, and then she ended up having more babies and more babies and more babies and more babies and more babies. And that was one of the conversations that so many older women had with me at that time as a young mother. And she said, it's one thing to make a mistake, but don't keep making the same mistake. And this is the challenge that we have with people that look like you and me, is the fact that it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to be in a bad relationship. It's okay to mess up, but don't keep doing it. This is why men and women have a hard time having good relationships, because the man say, I ain't gonna cheat no more. Or the woman say, I ain't gonna nag no more. And then you change a little bit. And then you go right back to those same bad behaviors. It's like the woman in the Bible who turned into a pillar of salt. She turned into the pillar of salt because she couldn't let go of what was behind her. They warned her, if you look back, you'll turn into a pillar of salt. And see, some of us have been warned of what will happen if we do certain things. See, some of us thought it was a game when number 45 ran 4 years ago. We thought it was entertaining. We thought it was funny. We thought, oh, this NIGGA ain't gonna win, or, this fool ain't gonna win, or, oh, this is entertainment, or, oh, this is gonna be an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl situation. And it turned into a nightmare. And if we're not careful, we will be warned about what will happen if we're not careful about the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis. See, some of you probably don't care about climate change until you go outside and it's the summertime and you got to wear a coat. See, some of you don't worry, you don't care about climate change until you look at Antarctica and it's melted and there's nowhere for people to live. See, you don't care about climate change until you no longer could get that Birkin bag that you're trying to save up for. See, some things you don't care about until they come on your doorstep. Then you have to make certain decisions. See, a lot of us were consumed and focused and zeroed in on, we're going to get, these kids ready to go back to school and do all the normalcy to get back to our normal lives. And I'm here to tell you, if ain't nobody told you, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. If ain't nobody told you, we are not going back to a normalcy. So whatever you thought your little life was, whatever little normal life you thought you had before COVID, it won't go back to that little normal life. And if we're not careful, our daily decisions will cause us, all of us, to go back to this place that we've experienced this year. See, the woman that turned into the pillar of salt in the Bible, she was the wife of Lot. And Lot was the nephew of Abraham. Abraham had been promised to be the father of many nations. And at this time, his nephew was at Sodom and Gomorrah, and they was getting it in. And Sodom and Gomorrah, they was turned up. They was getting freaky. They was having all type of orgies. They was live. They was lit, okay? And people would come there, and they would get caught up in the system. They get sucked in. And that's the same thing that goes on now. If we're not careful with how we make our decisions, you'll get pulled in and sucked into a lifestyle that you didn't anticipate. Ask every black man or black woman that's sitting in prison right now when they decided they was going to do a little run, a little highway run. They was going to do a little crime here, a little crime there. They didn't anticipate getting caught. They didn't anticipate having their whole world transformed. They figured, I just do a little this, a little that, give me a couple dollars and going on about my day. And then it became a lifestyle. It's like a person who says, oh, I'll never be a crackhead. And you do a little hit at a party. And then next thing you know, you're doing one at home. Next thing you know, you're doing a bump. And next thing you know, you got white stuff coming on your nose and your nose is running. See, there are a lot of things we all say that we would never do. You know, I tell my son and my sisters all the time and people that I talk to, I never say never. Because one of the things that I have noticed about my life, and I'm only going to talk about me because I ain't got a heaven and hell to put none of y'all in, and I ain't trying to put y'all business out there in the street, so I'm going to put my business out there in the street. I never say never because you never know where life will put you in a position where you may have to do the very thing that you never said you do. I was in middle school, and I said, I never smoke cigarettes. I never smoke a day in my life. Smoking is for losers. And then I become a single parent trying to make ends meet. And next thing you know, you find a cigarette butt in your backyard and you smoking a Newport 100 all the way to the bud because you're dealing with life stresses. And I thought never in a million gazillion years, you would catch me smoking a Black and Mild. And here it is. I'm sitting on my son's grandparents' porch with a Black and Mild in my hand. And my son's cousin is driving past, calling and telling my mama that your daughter is out here smoking a Black and Mild because I said I'd never do it. There are a lot of things out here in this world that we say we'll never do that end up putting us in the position where we end up doing it. A lot of us say, I never do this. I never do that. I never wanted to have children. I never wanted to get married. Both of those things happened. I wanted to again, be Olivia Pope and travel the world and do my political thing and be a social entrepreneur. Now, I was able to do that part, but I wasn't able to do the other part. Because at the end of the day, it's not what they say, it's what they do. And so when you are talking about daily decisions, every day that we wake up, we're making a political decision, whether you want it to be or not. The moment that you decide that you want to run a red light or go through a stop sign, you have the potential to either get in a car accident, get a ticket. So every day that we have those decisions, there are people who say, oh, I don't want to be a part of the political process, or I don't feel like my vote matters, or whatever the case may be. It affects you, especially the local level. The local level votes matter. As you can see, our city council, they just gave away our state fairgrounds. They were supposed to put an entertainment complex, but clearly it's whoever has the biggest dollar bills, y'all. That's why we need people that have our best interests at heart sitting at those particular tables. And when you see people who are courageous enough to become candidates, we have to get behind and rally behind those people who are courageous enough to put their necks on the line for the people who they're serving. See, 2020 started off as the year of vision. So many people were preaching it across pulpits, and everybody was saying 2020 was going to be their year, and 2020 was getting ready to go and do all these magnificent things. But I'm here to tell you right now, baby, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know y'all heard me the first time because y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. 2020 is still my year. It's still my year. Every day that God wakes me up and puts breath in my body, it's still my day. See, I'm not a person that allows certain circumstances to dictate my emotions or who I am. I used to let the weather make me sad. Oh, it's gloomy outside. Now I'm gloomy. I used to let my son's father ruffle my feathers and allow him to make me feel some type of way. And he would go off on me and I would feel like I got to go off on him. Decisions. We're talking about decisions. Talking about decisions. Don't look back. Stay the course. Talking about decisions. Because this is a season right now where we can't worry about no dead weight. I told my sister the other day, I said, either you're going to be the dead weight or you're going to be the bodybuilder. What you going to do? Because you can't sit here and complain about something that you ain't trying to fix. See, a lot of us are complainers. We complain about what your spouse ain't doing, what your lover ain't doing, what your kids ain't doing, what this person ain't doing, what this person did to you, what this person didn't do to you. When I tell you, either you cut the dead weight or you build it. You cut it or you build off of it. And see, some of us just complaining about it and crying about it and frustrated about it and angry about it. Listen, let me tell you something. Anybody that want to walk out my life, here you go. See you. Au revoir. Adios. Deuces. Because when you start pulling at people to stay, see, that woman turned into a pillar of salt because she turned around because she wanted to stay somewhere that she was comfortable with living. There are some people that are comfortable living in filth. There are some people that are comfortable living trifling. There are some people comfortable with smoking weed all day, not having to make a decision, not able to do nothing. The only decision that they're making is what I'm going to roll up, when I'm going to roll up, and who I'm going to buy it from. There are some people that are okay with having sex all day long. And I'm telling you, the next man that I marry, we're going to do more standing up than we are laying down. So I need a man that's not focused on his penis and his problems, but he's focused on the prosperity and building and getting us to the next level. See, if you still dealing with people that's so focused on sex and so focused on having a good old time, them not the people that you need to be around. You need to be around bodybuilders, people that are building, even if it's a little bit of building at a time. But you need to be around those people that are visionaries, because we all said in 2019, 2020 was a year of vision. The year of vision. Yeah, God corrected our vision. He corrected our vision. He allowed us to see people for who they are. He even allowed us to see us for who we were. And I'm going to tell you something. In this transition of not looking back, I had to make a decision. When I lost my hair and y'all saw me all bald and crying and pleading for the blood of Jesus, I made a decision right then and there that y'all didn't have a heaven or hell to put me in, and I didn't give a huge F word about what nobody thought about me at that particular time, because I was focused on my health. And see, sometimes people will be so caught up with having a good time that they'll jeopardize their own life. It's like a person that's drinking and driving. Yeah, you went to go have a good time. You turned up, you hustled, you partied, but you could have killed somebody. And now you in prison for life because of a few drinks. And I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about me. I went to jail for that. I went to rehab for that. I had to miss my son going to school and figure out how to get him to school from Oakland County Jail because of bad decision making. I had to figure out how to run my businesses and my companies from rehab in Pontiac because of bad decision making. I knew I wasn't supposed to marry the man that I married, but I figured nobody would ever ask me again. For real. So I married him. Bad decision making. See, a lot of us hurt our own selves because of the decisions that we make. We make moves without consulting with God in prayer. We look back over the bad decisions we've made in life and we put ourselves in a stupor and in a stump. And we become depressed and frustrated because we didn't make good decisions back then. See, at 17, I didn't make a good decision to leave that joker alone when my mama had warned me, leave him alone. He's no good for you. But I thought I was grown. And when I talk to my young people and I tell them all the time, don't rush your come up. Don't rush being grown, because adulting ain't fun all the time. Sometimes being an adult, you got to make some decisions. I can't hang out with my friends because I got to pay rent. I got to pay gas for the week. I got to do this. I got to do that, because now you have to learn there are some decisions that I make And if I make certain decisions today, these decisions that I make today will affect my tomorrow. That's why my campaign slogan is our future, our youth equals our future. Our youth equals our future. And if we're not careful, we'll be so caught up in what we want as adults that we'll forget all about these little babies behind us. And truth be told, this is what happens when you have people with no vision. The Bible says the people perish because of lack of vision, because of lack of knowledge. And the woman that turned into the pillar of salt, she was so engulfed in the life that she was leaving behind that she couldn't even focus on the future that's in front of us. See, some of us cannot build for what's to come because we're still stuck on what happened. Yeah, the friend betrayed you. Move on. Yeah, that Negro left. Let her have him. No, she ain't mean you no good. Yeah, you got her the car. You got her bundles. You paid a few bills. Don't worry about that money, man. God gonna bless you with some more. Because if your intentions are pure when you do things, God will put you in a position where you'll be triple fold. Let me tell you something. This time, 2 years ago, I was in somebody else's house, in somebody else's den, living on somebody else's coffee table with 2 cushions pushed together in a corner. And now I have my own house, 2-car garage with my own patio in the back where I can go and chill and lay down. Beautifully furnished home. Cars that we own. I ain't got to pay no car note. And it may not be a luxury brand vehicle. It's mine. I don't owe nobody. Ain't nobody coming looking for my car. Okay? Because those are the decisions that you make as you matriculate through life. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking all about don't look back. Stay the course. Because when you start looking back, you only can do 2 things. And that is A, be grateful for how far God has brought you, despite all of the scrupulous and scandalous stuff you've done. Or you could become frustrated and angry at yourself for the decisions that you've made that did not help catapult you to where you are. Because at the end of the day, either your decisions helped you or they hurt you. I tell my son, when he started off in high school, and I would tell him, I say, you can skip school if you want to. You can skip. In high school, we would skip and go over to CJ's or go over to the Dairy Queen or go over to John's Grill or go over to the little Royal Coney Island that's set at the corner on Joy Road in Wyoming. And we would skip our classes. But then when that report card came and that big old D was on the report card and it said you had 39 absences and your mama dropped you off at school, now you got to explain why you got a D and 39 absences in a class. So we all get our own decisions. We all get to make our own decisions, our own choices. And I tell my son all the time, as you get older, son, you're going to be leading a family. And the decisions that you make as a man will affect the family that you're leading. So be conscientious of your decisions. Don't always be so quick to make a quick decision, but also be quick enough to know when you should make quick decisions. See, sometimes we will make decisions that will forfeit our blessings. And then sometimes God says, Zsa Zsa, you're such a fool. I'm going to save you this time. But you know what? Next time, I ain't going to save you. That's when you have grace and mercy. Because some of us, we don't get what we deserve. When some of us deserve some bad things to happen to us. If we really sit down and really be truthful and really kick it with God and really be like, you know what, God, you the truth. You the truth. Because if I really be honest with myself and I really say, Zsa Zsa, the decisions that you made, did they help you for real? And then you got to be real and say, you know what? Nah, I knew when I should have been studying, I was out partying. I knew that when I was doing this, I should have been doing this. We all have been there. All of us. All of us have been in a place where we know we should have been doing something else other than what we were doing, other than what we were supposed to be preparing for. And see, the thing about it is that 2020 is still my year. It's still your year. But you have to learn to make better decisions that will help your future, not just your presence. See, a lot of times, a lot of men and women who are walking around here with STDs and STIs or getting pregnant by people that they didn't want to be pregnant by or end up in relationships that they didn't want to be in relationships in is because they were making quick decisions off their feelings. And see, a lot of us are striving to be so physically fit because of COVID weight that we're forgetting to use our brain. Our brain is a muscle too. And if we don't use it, we lose it. It's just like the penis. You don't use it, you lose it. We have to get to a point where we're not so focused on how physically well we look, how awesome our physique looks in a dress or a shirt. If you're so concerned about your physical well-being and not your mental and emotional well-being, you have already started this ass out backwards. And excuse my language to all the saints that watch. But if you are not preparing your mind and your emotions to be strong, physically, it'll be a waste of time. Because I was married to a physical trainer. And my husband, my ex-husband, was a retired bodybuilder. And physically, his physique was phenomenal. Body, amazing. Mentally, he didn't have it. Emotionally, he was detached. So it's hard to have genuine, good relationships, whether they be platonic, whether they be business, whether they be whatever the case may be. If you are not mentally and emotionally fit, being physically fit does you no good. It's like a man with muscles who was picked on as a kid, and now he feels like the vengeance is his because he got muscles now. The minute that somebody challenges his authority or his toughness, he's in a fight. That's why it's important to not only be physically fit, but emotionally and mentally fit. It's like a woman who gets told that she's beautiful by every man and she sleeps with every man that tells her she's beautiful. It's because she has not become mentally and emotionally stable. So she's going to go wherever the wind blows her. A man who doesn't know how to be in a stable relationship. It's not because he is so focused on sex and thinking with his penis. It's the fact that emotionally he is detached. Something has happened. And see, a lot of us, we try to act like ain't nothing wrong with us mentally or emotionally. You know, everybody is cool. You know, I'm from Joy Road, so everybody that where I'm from, you know, we all cool. We too cool to be cool. And we say, you know, I'm good, I'm straight. But in actuality, we are broken. Our city is broken. We have broken leaders that's running this city. We have communities that are broken, neighborhoods that are broken, families that are broken, all of because of bad decision making. Being at the wrong place at the wrong time, knowing that we shouldn't have been. It ain't always about, you know, somebody being able to tell you. Sometimes God be telling you, you don't be listening. You don't be listening. God will say, don't go that way. And you'll be like, man, I gotta go this way, man. I gotta go this way. And you heard something tell you, don't go that way. Something said, don't go out of town this weekend. Don't go this way this time. And we ignore it. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, because y'all already know before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. I'm talking about don't look back, stay the course. See, when my mom died, it was one of the most devastating things that I ever had to deal with because I never thought in a million years that I would have to bury my mama. You know, I thought I would be older, you know, and I thought maybe, you know, I would be older, she would be old age. I never thought in a million years that, you know, I would lose my mom. And see, some of us, we are so egotistical and so prideful that we think people will be around forever. You think, oh, you know, that person will be around forever. I have my mama forever. I have my daddy forever, my brother forever. I never thought in a million years that I would be burying my brother. trying to put money together to bury him when I had just talked to him on a Monday and then he gone on a Friday. And see, a lot of us, we have that YOLO, you only live once type of mindset. And don't get me wrong, you do. You only live once because chances do make champions. Chances, you do got to take those risks in order to live that life that you envision or imagine. But you also have to understand that when it comes to taking those chances and becoming a champion, it also comes with risks. We all have risks in every decision that we make. Every decision that we make comes with a risk. See, when I was pregnant with my son, the risk of me sticking a hanger up my vagina and twisting it around, trying to give myself my own abortion came with a risk. Because what if I would have scarred my uterus and bled to death and created an infection? So many of us take for granted the chances that we make because we aren't prepared for the risks that come along with those chances. It's like a woman getting ready to have a baby. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to give birth, but that birth comes with risks. It comes with the risk that I could potentially lose my life if I'm bringing life in. See, that's why I'm always conscientious of how men treat women who are carrying their children or have risked their lives to have children by some of these men. Because if you actually knew the detriment of what it takes to have a child and the blood that you lose when it comes to the process of delivery, some of you men would treat your baby mamas a lot nicer. See, if you knew the type of mindset that you end up having when it comes to postpartum depression and stress, you will be a lot more conscientious of how you talk and treat people. See, if everybody thought about how they felt when they lost the person that they love dearly, you would learn to deal with people a lot differently when it comes to grief. If you've ever had a loved one to go to prison or go to jail and you don't have money to put on their books, or you got to hear them tell you every week the same thing that they told you every week, you don't know about decisions until you get put in those positions where you have to make those tough decisions. That's why I'm always conscientious of how I deal with people. I'm always conscientious of the spirit that's on another person because I have to make the decision. Do I want to involve you in my life? See, a lot of us know we got to cut the string of relationships with certain people because we're going to keep getting the same results. It's like, if you know that he going to keep doing the same thing, why do you think it's going to be different for you? And oftentimes we think, oh, it's going to be different for us. It's going to be different for us. It's like this vaccine that they're getting ready to flood our world with. Our governor has to ban it. State representatives that we're getting ready to elect, somebody needs to create a mandate or a bill to turn it into a law so that we don't have to take these vaccines, because 12 other states have already banned the vaccines that they're trying to feed to our children, our families, because they're going to put it as a position where it's going to be mandatory, where we have to get these vaccines to go to school, to go to work. Our legislature has to put in position that we need to ban these vaccines. In addition, there needs to be a senator, a congressperson, state rep to file a class action lawsuit against number 45 for murdering all of these people in this country. When a person knowingly has information and they withhold that information that could potentially help or protect, that's falsified information. That is withholding legal information to the public that we should have known. There needs to be a class action lawsuit against number 45. There also needs to be a law that bans the vaccines. We're talking about decisions. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about don't look back, stay the course. Because if we don't, they are going to mandate that these vaccines are necessary. They're going to be, people think stuff is funny until you actually got to sit in front and make that decision. You actually got to sit here and say, okay, wow, I really got to get this COVID-19 test, huh? In order for me to get this job. I've avoided it all this time. All this time, I didn't have to take no COVID-19 test. Now I get this job and it's a requirement. You have to take this COVID-19 test in order for you to even get here. And not only do you got to take it up your nose, but you're going to have to get some blood drawn in order for us to see if you got antibodies in your blood. See, a lot of us think, oh, I let the rest of the world make the decisions. I let the rest of the city of Detroit make the decisions. I let the rest of the state of Michigan make the decisions. I let the rest of this country make the decisions for my family. That is a very dumb decision. And I don't like calling people dumb, but that's dumb. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Don't be dumb in this season. Because just like the woman with the pill, they turned into the pillar of salt because she didn't want to leave Sodom and Gomorrah. If you're not careful, your families will have to deal with more health issues, diabetes, heart, high cholesterol, heart disease, obesity. These are prevalent things that are happening within our country, in our communities, and within our families. And you know why? Because we don't own no grocery stores. We don't grow our food. There are so many factors of decisions that are ripple effects of everything we do. You decide that you want to grow a garden. Now you've made the decision to provide your family with fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs. But if you decide, me and my family just going to eat fast food, now you have the propensity of now having your children and your family suffer from cancer. You got them eating candy all day, which is high fructose corn syrup. Dr. Sebi told us the number one cause of cancer is high fructose corn syrup. So while you chomping and eating down on everything, you got to make sure, okay, is this too much gluten? Is this too much sugar? Have I had a balanced meal? Some of y'all have drank so much añejo, they trying to go collect some more Mexicans to make some more añejo because they only make enough for a certain amount for a year. But y'all done drink so much añejo, they got to go back to the drawing board in Mexico. Y'all will drink more añejo than you would H2O. And if you don't think that's an issue or a problem, then something's wrong. We're talking about don't look back, stay the course. Listen, 2020 has and is the year of vision. And it's still my year. And unfortunately, sometimes this journey causes us to make some adjustments. Some of you all did not anticipate starting or ending your 2020 the way it started. And some of your 2020 is not ending the way that it started. Isn't that a blessing? Because the journey causes us to make adjustments sometimes. I had to learn to make some adjustments this year that I did not anticipate having to make. I had to expose myself on some things that I held dear and private to me. But I had to make some adjustments. And sometimes the decisions that we make causes us to have to make some adjustments in our life. And you have to be careful of connecting yourself with people without vision. And you have to make sure that you connect yourself with people with vision. Because people without vision, they'll always try to figure out how you're going to do it. They're skeptics. People without vision. People without vision never see a way. They never see a way out. They never see a silver lining. That's why they ask me all the time, how are you so happy and you lost all the people in your family? How are you so happy and you lost all your hair? How are you so happy and you had a divorce? How are you so happy and this, that, and the third? I'm happy because I know that the decisions that I make, I choose to be happy. I don't choose to be negative. I don't choose to allow the things that have happened to me hinder me from continuing to make great relationships. How is it that you can still be and do this and all of that? Because I choose to make a decision that I'm going to do it this way. When you make a choice and a conscientious decision, nothing should be able to persuade you from that. Because people without vision, they oftentimes want to persuade the people with vision out of doing what it is that they see fit to do. If you say you want to open up a restaurant by 2022 and somebody else says, no, I don't think so. Why would you want to open up a restaurant? You don't even know how to cook. That's a person without vision. A person with vision says, I don't got to be the cook to own a restaurant. I can hire a chef. I can hire wait staff. I can create a menu, and bada bing, bada boom. At the end of the day, LaVan Hawkins didn't make no pizzas, but he still owned Pizza Hut. Okay? So at the end of the day, you have to be around people with vision. People with vision will help you with your decision making because they are going to see what you see. They may not see it exactly the way that you see it or the way that God gave it to you, but they can say, oh, you want to have a food truck? Okay. I see it. What you trying to do? Okay. Oh, you want to do that? Okay. I can see you doing that. Well, what you want to do? How you want to do it? See, I love people who take those chances of investment. I find it very difficult to work with or deal with procrastinators because if they procrastinate with their stuff, they'll procrastinate with my stuff. And you say, well, Zsa Zsa, we all procrastinate. We do. I've been guilty of procrastination, putting things off that I know that should be my number one priorities because we don't want to do it sometimes. But then I have to get myself by the collar and say, hey, you got a list on that wall you need to take care of. Get to it. Because you know that the decision that you make to focus on your brand or your business or your family or your relationship will have a return on your investment. But the minute that you decide to be lackadaisical, callous, procrastinate, you are now adding more time that it's going to take to get it done. See, I made a conscientious decision a long time ago that I was going to stay physically fit. But the minute that I made the decision not to be physically fit, that's when I started gaining weight. The decision to not allow people to take me to a negative place, the minute that I started making that decision was the minute people couldn't bother me with their BS. As soon as they delivered it to me, I sent it right back to the sender. Return to sender. Because when you start making the decisions that are best for you, best suited, best rooted for you and your family, all of the other decisions will fall right into place. See, it's like a person who says they want to be in a good relationship and they want somebody to take them seriously, but yet you posting naked pictures and half nude pictures on your social media. How you expect somebody to take you seriously? Yeah, they'll be sexually attracted to you, but they're not going to take you seriously. See, some of us put ourselves in certain situations that hinder us and hurt us because we're not making wise decisions. You want a relationship, but yet we settle for the bare minimum. We don't make sure that people treat us the way we want to be treated. And then those people that we ensure that treat us a certain type of way, we end up lowering our standards because we want to keep them around. No, don't look back. Stay the course. If you left that relationship for a reason, stay out that relationship. If you went back to school to get that degree, don't focus on what credits you lost. Focus on what credits you're getting ready to gain. If you didn't make good decisions as a parent when they was a kid, okay, we'll learn to make better decisions for that relationship as they get older. Because see, a lot of us make the decision to squander or squash a relationship that we should have cultivated. See, some of us, we look back because we didn't apologize like we should have. We didn't We didn't have the communication we should have. And now that relationship is gone and sailed on. And we wish that we would have said what needed to be said or do what needed to be done when we had that opportunity. But now that opportunity is gone. And now we keep looking back. We keep looking back, wishing that we would have said what should have been said or did what needed to be done. But at this point, all you can do now is look forward to the future and look at those decisions that you made. And you can do one or two things. You can stay the same or you can change the course. Either way, don't keep looking back at the relationships that you lost or the friendships that you lost or the things that you felt like you couldn't live without. There were some relationships and people that I thought I needed in order for me to be successful. And God said, no, honey, I give promotion. I give increase. I'll put a billionaire in your path that could catapult you past everybody that you're trying to be a part of. See, some of us have to look at the decision as yourself being your number one priority, and anything else attached to you will fall into place, because some of us are trying to take care of everybody else and everything else, and we fail to make us ourselves our number one priority. Listen, every day that you make a decision, make sure that you are your first priority and you are your first decision when it comes to making sure that you're good. Because a lot of times we want to make sure everybody is straight. We want to make sure our kids look good, hair done, clothes clean, everybody good. And then when it come down to mama or daddy or the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, we get the last of the stick. We get the little bit of breadcrumbs. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about don't look back, stay the course. Because at the end of the day, when you make sure and maintain your mental and emotional health, you will stay focused on your goal and you will dodge anything that causes you to feel some type of way. You know, when I was a young mother, I was hot-headed and I was angry because I had made bad decisions. I had connected myself with this fool that didn't mean me no good. And now I'm around here carrying around this baby, and I'm at the bus stop and I'm catching Lorraine cabs and the yellow cabs, and I'm going to school, and I got to figure out childcare, and I got to figure out, I was angry. I was angry at a young age, because I felt like the decisions that I made were not conducive to my future. And I tell my son all the time, son, the decisions that you make right now at 17 will catapult you for the rest of your life. And if you're not careful, you'll allow everybody else's opinion about what you should do for you to be louder than your own opinion. It's okay to consult with other people and seek wisdom and seek knowledge and seek understanding. Because let me tell you something, before I ask anybody else about their opinion, I consult with God. And sometimes God be a little slow on answering me, okay? I'm going to keep it real, straight up 100, no chaser. Y'all already know, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Sometimes I be consulting with God and God be silent, and I'll be like, what up, though, God? Is you listening? Where is you at, though? I am having a dilemma. Like right now, I have saved up a certain amount of money and I'm looking to acquire a certain land. And I have to be mindful of where I spend this money, because the decision where I put this money can either catapult me for the next 10 years or will put me in debt for the next 10 years. And I have to keep climbing out. And so right now in this season, if you are listening, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, make sure you follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Listen, if you want to support your girl, make sure you go to my website, zsachhubbard.com, order some Yeah, I Said It gear. Order my new book. I have my pre-order is available right now, dear Carlin. You can order that right now, or you can order my Yeah, I Said It t-shirts, my Yeah, I Said It hoodies. And I am a candidate for school board for Detroit Public School Board Community District. And I am seeking your vote on November 3rd, or if you are voting before November 3rd, I am asking you, when you flip that ballot over after voting for your next president and all the other people that you're voting for, flip that ballot over. You're going to see my name on the back. It's going to say Zsa Zsa C. Hubbard. You're going to fill in that little bubble. You're going to flip that ballot back over, and you're going to give it to the people at the table, okay? Listen, our youth equals our future, and if we're not careful about the decisions that we make today, we will harm and hinder the children that are prepared for the future as we matriculate through life. Listen, our daily decisions affect our daily lives as well as the people that we genuinely claim that we love. Listen, if you are stuck between a rock and a hard place and you are having challenges making decisions, listen, reach out to your girl. I may not know everything, but I can be able to tell you and weigh out between the pros and the cons to help with some of those decisions making, if you should go to the left, to the right, or go straight up the middle. Because sometimes we need to ask other people about some of the decisions that we often want to make, but you want to make sure that you're asking people that have your best interests at heart and that have your best intentions, and that are not going to be affected by the things that you do in a negative way. Listen, as you matriculate through life, as you go through this weekend, listen, your daily decisions affect your daily life. Don't look back. Stay the course. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Listen, make sure you vote for me November 3rd, or if you're going to go out and vote. Listen, I love y'all so very, very much. And listen, stay the course. Don't look back. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Peace.